Right, bit holder issues then. And this is the same for most manufacturers, really. So this one won't hold a bit. So what you need normally is something like this. If we can focus, you see I've sort of grinded down the tips there so that we can get them in. All you normally have is a clip in here, but this one weirdly has like a rounded clip in the top holding it in place. So I think this is actually the issue, but we'll see. I don't think it's given it enough compression, but we'll have a look. So we'll pop that to the side. Underneath there, you have a spacer. Then you have a spring. Sometimes these are snapped as well at the ends here, so you just got to double check that. Everything looks intact so far. Then you've got the cover itself around the edge. And just in here, what you have is a ball bearing that sits in this little hole. And there's a little spring underneath it with a almost like a peg on it that ball bearing sits on. I'll show you a close-up in a minute. But that actually also looks okay. So nothing's broken there. So it's probably the top. So I'm going to replace that with this. So this rounded one has been on here the whole time that this person's had this drill. So I'm thinking that's probably just separated a bit now and maybe weakened off. So what I'll do is I'll replace it with this new one. And these are much more flat. They hold everything in. They go right around that rim a little bit tighter. So here's the ball bearing, look, and it's sat perfectly on another spring just inside there. And that just goes up and down. When you put a bit in, that will go up and down, but it's actually against the edge of the bit holder, this thing, so it won't pop out. So that's also okay. So I think I only really need to change the top. So pop that on. Next you have this spring, which also is intact. Then this spacer. And then you need to wedge that little clip on. This was the old one I say, and this is the new one. So hopefully you can see it's slightly different. And it covers a little bit more area, this one, so it's going to hold that spring a little bit tighter down. There is a little lip on there where you can kind of get the angle right to push that clip across. A little bit fiddly this. On the way out you can kind of use the tool that I've sort of fashioned on the left. Way back in though I've still not cracked that and I end up using a screwdriver. So you basically wedge this in one side and then just try and follow it all the way around and wedge it right the way in. What you normally do is stab yourself in the hand at this point. And that's it. So say this works on most brands, Milwaukee's, whatever it is, this will be the same sort of process. And there we go. So it now holds it. So it was just that clip for some reason. So I think it just loosened off a little bit over time. And that's it.